Om Vang me manasi pratishthitam mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edhi vedasyama anisthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, we are in number 11. So, Tuvam Agne Aditi Deva Dashushe Tuvam Hotra Bharati Vardhase Gira Tuvam Ilashata Himasi Dakshase Tuvam Vritraha Supate Saraswati Tvam Vritraha Vasupate Saraswati. O divine fire, thou art Aditi, the indivisible mother to the giver of the sacrifice. Thou art Bharati, voice of the offering, and thou growest by the word. Thou art Ela, of the 100 winters wise to discern. O Master of the treasure, thou art Saraswati, who slays the python adversary. So the whole mythology in one verse, yeah? Oh, Agni, you are Aditi. Aditi is, as you know, is the name for the Divine Mother, infinite consciousness bliss, or consciousness force. It is, as you know, from root Ad, as Sri Aurobindo explains it in the Secret of the Veda, saying that it's not from a deity, as it is interpreted by tradition later, as Diti and Aditi. There are two sisters, twin sisters. One is infinite consciousness bliss, so to say beyond Satchitananda, and the other is Manas, Prana, and Annam, so dividing consciousness, Diti, the consciousness of darkness and consciousness of light, so to say. But he says it's not a Diti, it's from root Ad, so consuming all, really. From root Ad, to eat. We never look into this root Ad to eat in a deeper sense. Yes, if we try to look deeper, what it means, it's actually to appropriate, to make one with oneself. To eat is exactly that. When we take something in and we make it our own body, so to say. So in that view, it's like holding everything in oneness, or keeping everything in herself, as it were. I'm just trying to speculate on this topic of food and eating. So he is Aditi, to the one who gives himself to Agni, who surrenders to the divine. O Agni, you are Aditi, O God, for the one who gives oneself to you. So the aspiration in us, this divine aspiration, divine flame within us, is turned to be the Divine Mother at the end. And it is very appropriate here because the Divine Mother herself spoke about this. Sri Aurobindo spoke about the Mother as the golden bridge, as the flame which is connecting the heaven and earth. And that spark within us, that flame within us, within psychic being, which represents the presence of the Mother. So in a way, it is very appropriate to say that our psychic presence within us is the Mother's presence. It is she who manifested the divine in the form of the individual soul. The soul is the child of the Mother. It is coming from her womb, as it were. So in that sense, Agni is totally Aditi, especially to the one who gives oneself to him. Tuvam hotra bharati vardhase gira. And you are Bharati. So there are three rivers, as you know. Sri Aurobindo speaks about them quite extensively. And that is Ila, Saraswati, and Mahi, or Bharati. Three rivers. These are the three inspirational streams of higher consciousness. By the way, the whole exploration of the Vedic knowledge and the Veda and the Rig Veda, Sri Aurobindo started with the discovery of these three rivers. You know this, yes? He saw in the subtle lipi written the three names, Ila, Saraswati, and Mahi. And he was surprised because he had certain experiences and that was the explanation coming to that experience. And then he thought that the Veda must be having much deeper meaning, because till that time he didn't see much in the Rig Veda. He was studying Upanishads, Gita, yes, but not the Veda. But from that moment, he saw that the possibility of expressing his inner experiences in the language of the Veda. He found, as he said, his language in the Veda to express those experiences. So with these three rivers, it started actually. The whole journey of Sri Aurobindo into the Rig Veda started. And as we heard from a presentation of Shraddhalu at our retreat, he was till the end, he was translating the Vedic verses from the Rig Veda. And it's quite amazing. It's found in the archives, yes. In 49, his remarks on certain verses, what it means. For Sri Aurobindo, Rig Veda was the beginning of finding the proper language to express the highest possible experiences. And the whole Savitri is, in my view, absolutely Vedic. Yes, it's built on this vision, on these fundamental myths of the Rig Veda. We know it, yeah. It starts with symbol dawn, and so already the Vedic dawn comes to us, and so on. So Bharati, Ila and Saraswati, they go in the order of Ila, Saraswati, and the Bharati. Ila, Sri Aurobindo says, is the highest revelation. And they all belong to Saraswati. They are all the expressions of Saraswati in a way. Saraswati is that Shruti, Ila is Drishti, and Bharati is that vastness. Or in our faculties of consciousness, we also use this image to understand better seeing, hearing, and touch in the divine way. If you kind of apply this context of our physical life and our vital and mental life to this, you will see very interesting parallel between these three and seeing, hearing, and touch. In some passages, Sri Aurobindo speaks of that last one, Bharati. You see here, she is Hotra, and he translates her as the, Aditi, he translates as indivisible mother. Interesting. Yeah? Undivided as Aditi. So, according to tradition, to the giver of the sacrifice. Thou Bharati, thou art Bharati, voice of the offering. So even the voice of the offering, though it is Saraswati, that audience, Shruti, she is the voice, but Bharati will carry that voice into the vastness. And Bharati, Mahi, is that greatness which accommodates the divine intention in the terms of the word. The word is accepted in the vastness and applied. And thou growest by the word, he says. So the word is entering into this kind of vastness and generates a new context, new environment in which new meanings can be applied. This is the power of the word. Thou, you are Ila, the power of revelation to discern the truth of 100 years. Tvam Ila Shatahimasi Dakshase. Dakshase is to discern. That's basically the power of Ila. Discernment. And discernment is the power of vision, drishti. It is the highest power in the hierarchy of powers in the supermind. These are three supramental goddesses. So Daksha, the lord of the thought, all-encompassing thought with capital T, Sri Aurobindo says. Daksha is the highest level of the supermind. It's the level of oneness. Then Amsha, the one in many, in many in one, and finally Surya. That means the divine manifestation or the supramental manifestation, where the individualization is taking place already. So what is interesting is that these three rivers somewhat fit into this scheme of Daksha, Amsha, and Surya. And you could see that that's why she is for the discernment, because Ila belongs to the highest realm of the supermind. She is discerning the truth. The highest thought of Daksha. Even Daksha say the same root is used here for Ila. And Saraswati fits into the formulation of one in many, in many in one. That's what the word will be doing. The word will generate the meaningful relations within the oneness between different elements. And finally, the manyness, or the many, will be translated in terms of Bharati, vastness. Right. Here there is a passage which also will explain to us certain things. Sri Aurobindo speaks. Saraswati is not only connected with other rivers, but with other goddesses who are plainly psychological symbols, and especially with Bharati and Ila. So there are 7 rivers mentioned in the Veda, but we are dealing with 3 only. It's triple supermind, so to say. Satyam Ritam Brihat is another triplicity of the supermind, which fits very well into this Ila. Satyam, Saraswati, Ritam, and Brihat is Mahi, Bharati, actually, perfectly fit. Yeah? So this triplicity of the manifestation. So in the later Puranic forms of worship, Saraswati is the goddess of speech, of learning, and of poetry, and Bharati is one of her names. But in the Veda, Bharati and Saraswati are different deities. Bharati is also Mahi, the large, great, or vast. The 3 Ila, Mahi, or Bharati and Saraswati are associated together in a constant formula in those hymns of invocation in which the gods are called by Agni to the sacrifice. There are Apri Suktas. We will look into them. It's a specific type of Suktas in the Rig Veda. They have the same pattern throughout. Whoever it is, whatever rishi, whatever the family of rishis is creating this Apri Sukta, it will have the same pattern. And there will be these Ila, Saraswati, Mahi coming constantly to. As Saraswati represents the truth audition, Shruti, which gives the inspired word, so Ila represents Drishti, the truth vision. If so, since Drishti and Shruti are the 2 powers of Rishi Kavi, the seer of the truth, he can understand the close connection of Ila and Saraswati. We can understand. Bharati Umahi is the largeness of the truth consciousness which, dawning on man's limited mind, brings with it the 2 sister puissances. We can also understand how these fine and living distinctions came afterwards to be neglected as the Vedic knowledge declined and Bharati Ila melted into one. So they are no more distinguished when the supermind disappears from the studies of the Indian mind. Yeah, if you have any questions.
Yeah. Vladimir, I have a question. You mentioned that Aditi was indivisible something. Was it sacrifice?
No, it's indivisible consciousness force.
Okay. Thank you.
She belongs to Chit Tapas, Sat Chitananda, onto that transcendental level. This is the Divine Mother, the mother of the gods. Her gods are Aditya's 7 sons, and Vivasvat, the 8th son who created the universe. 7 sons are exactly these 7 levels of consciousness. Yes, Sat Chit Tapas, Ananda, and triple supermind. These are the 7 sons. And they are called Adityas. We can call them sons, or we can call them the faculties or functions of Aditi. So what she reveals Satchitapasananda, yes, the divine being, consciousness, power, and bliss. So this is Aditi, all together, put together. In the Rig Veda, Aditi is the fundamental deity. Yes? She is the mother of all the gods. So there is someone superior to the gods. We have to kind of acknowledge this. There is some power of consciousness of the Supreme which is superior to all the gods. But I mean all, including Shiva and Vishnu and Indra and Agni and all of them. They're just the faculties of Aditi. Which is quite interesting because when we come back to integral yoga, we have this concept of the mother. This, when by the mother we have to achieve all the realization, and when mother is found, all is found. So we have to kind of, this is the recapturing the ancient idea of the Divine Mother who manifests all the beings and all the gods. So, yeah, we finished with it. Yeah. And you can see that in the last, you are Saraswati, O Lord of luminous substance, Vasupates to Agni, killing Vritra, the obstructor. It's interesting that Saraswati is invoked also to destroy Vritra and Vala. There is Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the Lord which formulates the word from the heart, rising from the depth of the heart. But Saraswati is the word, transcendental word, which streams down from above into our lower hemisphere. These are like, in the ancient tradition, they were called nymphas, not nymphas, those who poets invoke them. How do you call them in Greek mythology?
Nymphs?
The muses.
Muse?
Yes, absolutely. They are the muses. Muses means they inspire. They create a consciousness which perceives things differently and can act differently. They act upon consciousness. Muses. When you get the muse, you can write the poetry. It flows. The truth flows out of you when you got that stream into you. But if you don't have the muse, you can try your poetry back and forth, correct it, put the right words, and nothing works. When you do not know why. All the words are correct, and there is no poetry. So
Isn't that for all creative activities that you need the muses?
Absolutely. If you are not reproducing or imitating the activity, yes. And there is a lot of, in the modern world, of this imitation and recreation, and the creators are few, but the rest of the world is just trying to multiply their creativity. We can see this quite obvious. There were few discoveries in the world which made all that what we see around, but those imitation of activity created all that culture around us.
Vladimir, can you explain Vritra again, please?
Oh yes, Vritra. Vritra is one of the major obstructors because he takes all the soma, all the delight out of the. So the delight is no more there, and we are exhausted with our sadhana, and nothing works. Whatever you try to do, you try to invoke the divine. There is no joy in the invoking the divine. There is no joy in being pure and being kind and being right and being true. Everything, the whole delight of being true is sucked out from you. So you are true and you are exhausted and dry, so to say. There is no juice. There is no soma. So,
Thank you.
yeah, it has to be killed. And he's killed by Indra, as we know. Indra is the killer of Vritra with his lightning, with his Vajra. But he has helpers. Saraswati is one of those. And Angiras Rishis and Brihaspati. This is one of the enemies, major enemies, Vritra. But when Vritra is killed, from his substance new demons come. Yeah? There is a Shushna, for example. Shushna, also that which is drying up. He cannot consume all the delight, but he can dry it up. It's not yet finished when Vritra is killed. There will be still something, there will be much to do. Pipru, Shushna, there are many of them. They are mentioned in the Veda. And they have to be dealt with also.
That's why sometimes in the practice, the sadhana reaches a plateau, hits a plateau, and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And you feel, you don't feel the enthusiasm,
Yeah.
and everything seems to have become just a ritual. And then from somewhere, new enthusiasm has to come back.
Yeah.
You know,
And then we
it's,
fall back into the ordinary life usually.
yeah,
Because there is no delight of this, of
right,
life, of spiritual life, which should be full of delight.
yeah.
Usually it is, but there is vritra to empty our delight. There are also,
What to try.
you will notice interesting thing I noticed in my kind of sadhana, that the moment you get the real delight of the truth, yeah, you opened up and you got it, there will be always afterwards an attack
Yes,
of these forces to get the delight out of you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we give it, that delight away. I did many times in my life until I thought, what is going on? Right? So why should you become extraordinary, so to say? Extra means more than ordinary. Why should you become supremely ordinary after that you got such a delightful presence? Why should go down? And I thought about it. Do you have some thoughts? Why do we have to give up the delight? Why can't
I think it's the lower forces in the inconscient that also seek it,
Yes.
and so they come up to grab it from you. And when you recognize that, then the surrender is more, and the offering is more. And it takes some time, but after that, you're back again, and you can once again practice with enthusiasm. It seems that they are satisfied for the time being and they let go.
Nice explanation. So we have to feed them a little bit because
Yes,
they will not let you go, So
yes,
your
others will catch you.
Also, we are very limited beings. We can only take so much at a time. We can't take the whole thing at once. So our limitation has to be expanded too.
Yeah, no, we can expand that. But these are the obstructions, these are the resistances that come up. And it is imperative that we recognize them, we are conscious of them. That is part of the sadhana. We have to be conscious that it's not life. Sometimes we just dismiss it and say, oh, life came and took over my sadhana. It's not that. We have to see more than beyond that veil of life and see that it is these forces and they need to be moved out of the way by making a sacrifice. I don't know, I see it that way. Vladimir, please
Yeah.
correct me, add your wisdom.
So there are so many facets, so many views on the same process. This is one true view, yes, and we try to explain it to ourselves. Why should we really face all the time the resistance? There are several explanations. One is what you gave. There is another which you may see, that the light, the hungry forces of darkness, yes, they hunger for this delight, the divine delight. But what happens when they steal it from us? They aggrandize themselves. They make themselves, they prolong their life. Yeah? They become stronger in the resistance. That's what they want. They cannot change immediately. It is not changing them. It's not transforming them. They're taking it, that delight, on their own, so to say, ground, yeah, from their own point of view. They do not come to give. They come to take, to consume, to aggrandize themselves through this light. That's what they do. Panis, yes, panis steal our light, the indriyas of action, karmendriyas, so to say, and steal our light. And where do they store it? They store it into the subconscious cave, which gives that vala. There is another one, Vritra and vala, these two great obstacles in the Veda, obstructors. Vala means also both from root vri, to cover, to obstruct. Vala is the wall, interesting, etymologically very closely, wall, fence, cave.
In Hindi, we have Deval. Deval meaning a wall. In Hindi, yes.
Right.
Vala.
Vala from Vri, yes, from Vara or Vala. Little exchanging. But this Vala is keeping all the delight we received, all the treasures, higher treasures, which were stolen from us, are going into that subconscious cave. And there is a reason for it, the deeper reason of this process, that actually it accumulates a lot of power there in the darkness, gives darkness a lot of right to be and power. That very light, divine light, gives them the right to be. And then it does something to the whole process. So the Vedic rishis had to discover or to break the Vala, kill Vritra, and release those hidden treasures within the substance, the inconscient. And once they are released from that place, they illumine the whole inconscient and subconscious mind. Yeah. So basically, this is a very great transformative movement. And that is the secret of the Veda, that within the darkness there is light. And that Vala is being constantly fed by panis. These panis are stealing our higher perception and store all the treasures we receive from the spirit into this subconscious cave. They have the right to claim the light, and more so, more you receive, more they will claim. It's a strange life for us.
Vladimir, I have a thought.
Yeah.
That is, and I've had this experience that you're talking about, and there was kind of a blindness that set into me after I felt a sense of fullness. I wasn't able to really be aware or absorb anymore. And it just occurred to me that it's a little bit like eating a really great meal. That once you've eaten a great meal, it's this wonderful feeling of delight eating it, but then you have to digest it. And then it goes into your system and it provides nutrition to you. but that's not something that part of it you don't feel. It's not delightful. It just happens. And that's in darkness, like a lot of what you've just been saying. And the other thing I'm reminded of is that a lot of the saints, Saint Francis comes to mind because I've read a bit about him, is that he always praised any kind of difficulties in his life. He wanted to make life difficult for himself because the benefit was always so great. When we have life too easy and things go too nicely and too well, we get overly satiated and then our senses become dull. So we're not receptive to the divine anymore. So the more difficulty that we have in our life, actually, the more challenges, the more we yearn for the divine. And that's what opens us up to being receptive to it. So the I don't understand. I don't know about all of these things that you're talking about in the Rig Veda, about the different levels and beings and lower beings who want to take the soma and so on. But the process is the same. We all go through the same stuff. Anyhow, just a couple of thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, good thoughts. If we figure out this, why we are made in such a way, that we are actually a translating station, of the higher light into the darkness for the sake of transforming it. And we are the transformation station. Yeah, we're transforming. We are constantly in this sacrifice. We are constantly here to take everything which is unregenerated and offer it to the light. When the soma or the delight or the truth is stolen from us, the bliss, by the lower beings, by the lower levels of consciousness, it's really not the right way to go. But it tells us that there is something below which needs light. Yeah? That's much that is truth. But what we have to do, we have to become active offerers. Whatever, we have to prepare the offering. Offering cannot be done like I offer the darkest in me to you and that's done. It won't happen. You have to take that offering, you have to purify it, to distill it, the soma has to be found, the delight of the divine has to be found in things which are not yet changed, transformed, and then they have to be offered to Agni, to the transforming power in us, which is growing. And that's the way to grow Agni. When Agni grows, it will take everything in slowly, one by one. But we have to prepare the offering. The offering is a big thing. We have to do it. It cannot be stolen by us. It's not the offering. It's not the way to transform the world. Yeah? It's actually robbing us. Sri Aurobindo calls them robbers of the depth, of the deep. These are the robbers of the deep. And so we have to be careful after, for example, Rig Veda. When we study Rig Veda, there is something coming, and that is snatched in the afternoon or somewhere. Yeah, most probably you noticed this. There will be a call. These creatures, they recognize the value. They want the food. So we are left robbed without anything, no trace even left. Only kind of a shadow of memory that something was good and very blissful. But where is the knowledge? Yeah? Yes, Kingship.
Vladimir, at this stage, can we do anything with cleverness?
We can.
What I mean is that
I understand.
it's a thought thing, right? I mean, there is a struggle going on, and we have to somehow prevent this from happening. So, does our cleverness matter?
Matters, yes. When this happens and the attack takes place, it's even not visible attack. It is something in us. There is someone in us who wants it and who opens the door, the tray.
Correct.
Vladimir, could you please speak a little louder, please?
Oh, it's not loud enough. Okay, so sorry. Let me check with the microphone. Got again something. Oh, it should be okay.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Oh, it's just a tone speaking. Okay. Yeah. Once we start noticing that we have traitors in us, there's
Yes.
someone who is always buzzing and waiting and
Mhm.
hiding in the shadows, yeah? And waiting for its opportunity. And already, now the food is coming.
Yes.
They're preparing, cooking. Nice smell. It will be a good feast. So I'm waiting. Afternoon is my holiday.
Yes.
So an amazing thing, something in us agrees, and not only agrees, but rejoices to recapture that lower way of living in a fresh manner. But what it does, it refreshes the force of the ordinary perception also.
Actually, in Savitri, Sri Aurobindo explains it beautifully in the Godheads of the Little Life. You know, how these forces act unknown to us behind the scenes. They're plotting all the time and they catch us unawares because we are not conscious in those places.
Yeah.
And so we give in also because we believe we are limited beings and we cannot fight and we cannot, change things in our nature. We believe in it so deeply that we allow ourselves to slip into becoming average again,
Yeah.
becoming mediocre and living within. We say man has limits. It is best, like death tells Savitri, we have to live within limits. We believe that. And that is what allows these panis to steal away the delight.
Yeah.
We give in to them, we agree to give in to them, and we are unconscious also that we are giving in to them.
Right. You see, there's this kind of a very interesting new kind of perception on that we are part of the process and we agree and we even like to that because we cannot be constantly in this light, in this presence. As it's too much. It's like too much good food, too much chocolate, too much ice cream. And so that becomes a painful thing. So we stop doing it. And it is not a problem by stopping because we need to absorb the light into our system. But the problem is then when we become unconscious, somehow ordinary, and all the karmendriya start to move, become activated in us, our hands, legs, speech, talking nonsense non-stop, then all these forces are already there. They're
A
already.
good example, Vladimir, a good example, sorry to interfere, a good example is just after the retreat, many people took a vacation. Right?
We had enough.
Right there. People felt the need to go on a vacation after a retreat.
Yes.
Can you
Finally,
imagine?
relax to seize all that.
Get back to my family and do the normal things.
Yeah.
Watch TV.
Let me, yes, my dear Netflix, welcome back. Yes, it's inevitable for this kind of structure in which we live, yes, because we have different personalities within us, different beings who open the gates to these forces and welcome them. Sri Aurobindo also in the Letters of Yoga describes this beautifully. He says, the moment you clean the temple, these forces are already there because they love clean temple to go again into it, and to make mess there. So this is like oh, this refreshed being. All these old forces which were already tired were not interesting. Nothing was interesting there anymore in this repetition. But now it's like a new life for them. So they rush in and then live again. Yes. And we also are refreshed in the old way of living. And that's what gives us certain delight that life is still continuing and still makes some delight. Yeah. So this is something where our traitors are hidden in. Yeah? They are there. They don't want the transformation. They want the bliss out of living only.
Somewhere, Vladimir, then we have to be very conscious that we cannot go back to the old way of life again.
Yeah.
And that belief has to be very strong in us, I think.
I believe, yes, I think so too. Or you have to have a willpower. If you have a willpower which came from initiation or came by grace, or there is another way, grace. Sri Aurobindo says you have to have a strong will which can be given by initiation, or you can manage these things by grace. Grace has to be there. Grace has to save you from this. So we have to call for grace. Mother offers us this solution. When the attack is there, you hold on to this yourself as if you're holding on to the um, pole with a strong wind which is carrying you away, but you're holding it and not letting go. The wind will pass. The wind will not stay. We have an impression that wind will be forever. No, it has a limited force. If we do not respond, it will go. And call for grace, call for help. But it is very difficult to do. Especially if there are many traitors inside who want to refresh, reboot the system in the old manner. How nice it is to be again young, beautiful, happy, this kind of spring, run to the sun, barefoot, and this and that. There's so many ways of betraying this spiritual vision. But we have to be that also and be spiritual at the same time. Yeah, we touched Vritra. This is the question about Vritra. Exhausted the topic. Yeah?
That's why they say he has 100 heads. Is that true?
Oh, he has, yes, 100, I don't know, maybe 100 is...
Thousands of heads,
yeah.
because he comes up in so many forms.
Vritra is actually, there is the whole work which is called the Arctic home of, of the Veda, of Aryans, by Tilak, where he deals with Vritra and killing Vritra. The whole book is dedicated to Vritra. If you want to read about his view on Vritra as from the point of view of Jyotisha, he believes that Vritra is the power of winter solstice, and the killing
What is the name, Vladimir, of the book?
I will send you the whole PDF.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't need you to buy. And Sri Aurobindo was of high opinion of this book, the Arctic home of in the Veda or of Aryans. I somehow mixed up too. And
Is that why, Vladimir, there's this line, thou art Ela of the 100 winters, wise to discern? Does it refer to Vritra of the Arctic?
I don't think winters here is winter. Maybe
Okay.
even that. Maybe I don't. I never thought of it. I thought it was simply years, because by winters they were measuring years, or autumns by autumns, yeah, or by winters.
And
100.
then it's followed by the line who slays the python adversary. Like it's like a continuation of the thought. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
No, let us read more into it, definitely. So thou art Ela of the 100 winters, wise to discern, O master of the treasure, thou art Saraswati who slays the python adversary.
There must be two different things.
Well, each of these streams, of course, they're all coming from the highest, the supramental world. There are three lower rivers of the transcendental 7 rivers. The 4 other sisters, 4 rivers, are not even named. There are no names in the Rig Veda. Only these 3 supramental streams. But Sri Aurobindo has names for them, and that is Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, of the bliss, and Mahasaraswati of the truth. He used the names of the mother from Tantra, and these are the manifestations of the mother. All right, I don't see the connection yet. Maybe it will come. The 100, why winters? Ela of the 100 winters, wise to discern. Don't know. All right, yes. So we come to the, wow, we spent the whole, only one verse. Let's do the second one at least. Tvam Agni Subhrita Uttamam Vayach Tavas Parhe Varna Asam Drishi Shriyach Tvam Vajach Pratarano Brihad Asi Tvam Vajach Pratarano Brihad. No, Tuvam Vajach Pratarano Brihad Asi Tuvam Raich Bahula Vishpatach Prithu. O fire, when thou art well born by us, thou becomest the supreme growth and expansion of our being. All glory and beauty are in thy desirable hue and thy perfect vision. O vastness, thou art the plenitude that carries us to the end of our way. Thou art a multitude of riches spread out on every side. Wow, what a beautiful vision. Shraddhalu mentioned in his talk that when Sri Aurobindo was translating hymns to the mystic fire, Agni himself appeared in front to admire the formulation of or formulation it in the English language. It has something, some warmth, some light in this kind of simple words, but in the flow it creates this presence. O Agni, you are perfectly carried, the highest expansion, as the highest expansion, in your most wanted light and color, in your absolute vision are the glories You are the plenitude and vastness that carries us forward. You are the manifold wealth extended all around. Tuvam Agne Subhrita, well carried, Uttamam Vayach. Shubindu translates very interestingly. You are born by us. You are well born by us, and therefore, so to say, thou becomest the supreme growth and expansion of our being. So when we bear Agni perfectly within us, we grow to, we supremely grow and expand in our being. So one is connected with the other. And all glory and beauty are in thy desirable hue, in thy perfect vision. It's like following the same. So all the glory is there in these hues which you generate in us, and your perfect vision of knowledge. Because this is the light of vastness. Brihat, he translates as a vocative case, though it is not here. So we can leave this. O vastness, thou art the plenitude that carries us to the end of our way. And literally, it is you are the plenitude that carries forward to the vastness, which is close to the, actually, when to put it into the poetic language. Thou art a multitude of riches spread out on every side. Everywhere he generates riches and wealth on every side, if we carry him within and grow with him. Everything turns into riches for us. The whole life is becoming full of wealth. Here Adityas are coming. Tuvam Agne Adityasach Asyam. Tuvam Jihvam Shuchayach Chakrire Kave. Tvam Jihvam Shuchayach Chakrire Kave. Tuvam Aratisha Cho Adhvareshu Sashchire. Tuve Deva Havir Adantiyahutam. O Agni, O fire, the sons of invisible, indivisible mother made thee their mouth. The pure gods made thee their tongue. O seer, they who are ever close to our giving are constant to thee in the rites of the path. The gods eat in thee the offering cast before them. Interesting. Now I notice even before them, he adds this before because it's ahutam. Ah means onto. So he translates even the prefix. The sons of indivisible mother, these are the faculties of the divine mother, yes? They are divine being, consciousness, force, bliss, and truth. Triple truth, yeah? So these are the 7 sons of the divine mother. Made thee their mouth. They made Agni their enjoying entry, the portal through which everything, all this world of darkness is transformed and enjoyed. The pure gods, Shuchayach, made thee their tongue, the tongue of expression and enjoyment. Osea, they are ever close to our giving. Are constant to thee in the rites of the path. Interesting, in the rites of the path, Adhvareshu. I'm translating it as And with the gifts, they follow you in your pilgrim sacrifices. Gifts are here the offerings, or everything what we surrender to the divine. The gods partake in you the offered offering, the offering which is given to them or directed towards them. We cannot give to the divine anything, but we can offer. That means we will have to receive the divine coming and taking the offering. Yeah? So there is on our side, we can only aspire and offer. And on their side, they can reach out and engage with us. It's up to them whether they reach out, whether they take offering or not. It's not automatic that our offering is taken. And we know the difference, yes? You know the difference. When the offering is taken or not, you feel it immediately. Okay, I will stop here. At least I covered 3. Sorry, Kinshuk is waiting for the hymn to be finally. But we today looked into this deeper sense why the delight is taken from us and what to do with it. How to keep the flame constantly burning. For that we need to prepare a new offering for the flame to continue. We can't stop. Yeah.
Vladimir, how do we know that our offering has been accepted by the gods?
Oh, you feel it immediately. You know it that, oh, it is taken. It's like it's taken. You can feel it's gone. I feel it very strongly. I can immediately and feel when it is not. And feel when I fake the offering, when I do it mechanically, ritualistic. When you do it ritualistically, it's nothing. It's just nothing is done. There is no sacrifice.
Thank you.
Maybe one should pay attention to it, and then you will feel. Because maybe we don't pay attention. We think that by saying it, or kind of, it's done. It's not done. It needs to be done with something else. Energy has to, energetically have to feel that it has gone.
I have to work on that.
Yeah, we all have. Great. If you have any remarks, questions, I'm kind of overtaking my time. Yeah. Anna is here also with us. Hi, Anna.
Vladimir, you said it is gone means what? You once said that it is empty. You feel a sense of emptiness. It is gone out of you.
It's taken. It's a way of saying it, yeah. There is another thing which is there are 2 perceptions. When you offer something or you ask something, you will feel that your quest is taken, yeah. But there is another, the presence grows in you. So when the presence grows, intensifies, then you know that the offering is succeeding, so to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think with the quest, it is more like having it feels like it is taken. When you have a quest or request something, you want to have something from the divine. Please grant me, I don't know, whatever. Yeah? I don't ask much. I never ask you. But this time I will ask this much, this little. And then oh, it is taken. Disappeared. That means it is taken. But with the offering that we offer for the transformation, you feel the growth of the overall presence. Some people feel, I feel the pressure from above grows, but light. It's like you are in the bubble more and more intense. You don't want to move, you don't want to breathe even. You want to stay, you're kind of frozen into that state. It makes the physical body quite sleepy. It's like physical body falls asleep and you don't, so to say, and you stay in that state. But physical body cannot handle this too long. Yeah, if it is going on for hours, then physical is kind of getting tired. All right, okay, we can stop here and close with mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.